Money manifestation is not about chasing numbers on a screen. Money manifestation is about how you treat money itself. Imagine money as a person sitting across from you right now, watching how you speak, how you think, how you feel about it. Most people beg, fear, or resent it, and then wonder why it keeps its distance. But what if money only ever reflected the way you relate to it? In this Neville Goddard-inspired teaching, you'll discover how treating money like a living presence can completely rewrite your financial reality. Money manifestation is not a trick, a strategy, or a secret known only by the privileged. Money manifestation is the natural echo of your inner state, the reflection of who you are being when no one is watching, the shadow cast by your persistent assumption. From the very first moment you hear these words, let them reverberate through you. Nothing in your financial world is separate from your identity. Nothing. And if you have ever believed money was something distant, difficult, or beyond your reach, prepare to awaken to the truth that has been whispered by mystics across centuries. Money is a mirror, and you are the one who decides what it reflects. Imagine this. You stand at the edge of a vast and infinite ocean, and each wave that rises and falls is a symbol of abundance in motion. Some people watch the waves from afar, believing they must earn permission to touch the water. Others dip their hands timidly, thinking maybe, just maybe, the sea will favor them. But a few, very few, walk straight into the tide as if it belongs to them, as if they were born of the same substance that moves the currents. These are the ones who understand money manifestation. These are the ones the world calls lucky, when luck is simply the disguise of self-assured consciousness. Money manifestation begins not with desire, but with recognition. You look at money and think it is something outside of you, floating somewhere in the world, choosing some and ignoring others. You were taught to see it this way. You were taught to fear it, chase it, resent it, or worship it. You were taught that money is earned by sweat, by sacrifice, by endless labor. But hear me, sweat does not create money. Consciousness does. Sweat may move pieces on the chessboard, but consciousness decides the game. You have been conditioned to think money is a judge evaluating your worthiness. But I tell you, money is not a judge. Money is a servant, obedient, responsive, precise. It moves according to the tone of your inner voice. If you speak with lack, money withdraws. If you speak with fear, money trembles and hides. If you speak with resentment, money feels unwelcome. But if you speak with quiet certainty, with gratitude, with the serene authority of one who knows their rightful place, money leans toward you, listens to you, answers you. Listen closely now. Let this truth penetrate every doubt. Everything you call financial reality is merely a reflection of the state you maintain within yourself. If money seems absent, it is because you have unconsciously pushed it away. If money seems scarce, it is because you have assumed scarcity as your normal identity. If money feels uncertain, it is because you have doubted your own power. But imagine something different. Imagine that money is not an object, but a presence. Imagine money as a living friend who sits at your table, who walks beside you, who responds to your tone. What you treat as alive gains life within you. What you welcome as familiar draws near. What you honor with respect multiplies. The world has deceived you into thinking you must beg for prosperity, plead for opportunity, compete for scraps. But the universe does not respond to begging. It responds to assumption. It responds not to the words you say, but to the state you embody. Before we go deeper, let me ask you something. Answer in the comments as a moment of self-recognition. What moment in your life proved to you that imagination creates your reality, even in a small way? A coincidence? An unexpected deposit? A door that opened out of nowhere? Share it, because your story will unlock someone else's memory. Now return to the present sitting at your table. Money is listening. Money has always been listening. Most people talk about money in its absence, but few dare to talk to money in its presence. They complain, fear, beg, criticize, resent, and then wonder why money stays away. You cannot attract what you reject. You cannot receive what you despise. You cannot hold what you believe is dangerous. But when you speak to money the way you speak to a trusted companion, everything changes. You don't doubt whether a friend hears you. You don't worry they'll vanish in the next moment. You speak with ease, with familiarity, with natural confidence. This is the vibration of assumption, the language the universe understands. Close your eyes. Speak inwardly. Money, I know you hear me. I know you belong with me. I know your presence in my life is natural and constant. The shift begins the moment you accept this as normal. Money manifestation begins with identity, not effort. And here, a deeper truth reveals itself. There is no separation between you and money. You believe you do not have because you look at a number on a screen and assign it meaning. But the number is not your identity. The number is not the source. The number is simply the shadow of your past assumptions. Money is not stored in your bank account. Money flows from your consciousness. Your account is only a mirror, a delayed reflection, a photograph of an old state you've already moved past. When you say, I don't have, you build a wall between yourself and abundance. You confirm distance. You enforce separation. You declare lack as your reality. But what if you could see money as inseparable from you, like breath, like heartbeat, like the warmth of the sun? What if you understood that abundance is not something you chase, but something you emit? What if you recognize that prosperity is not a privilege, not a reward, not a miracle? It is an inevitable reflection of the identity you assume. Pause here. Something in you already knows this is true. Something in you remembers. Look at the world with new eyes. Every coin that circulates, every transaction, every flow of wealth around you is not a reminder of what you lack. It is a testimony of the universal abundance you belong to. When you feel separate, you resent wealth. When you feel one with abundance, every sign of prosperity confirms your own destiny. Money manifestation requires unity. Unity between your identity and your desire. You cannot manifest what you believe is outside of you. You cannot attract what you believe is incompatible with your state. But when you assume money as part of your being, as natural as breath, as constant as heartbeat, it begins to move toward you in unexpected ways. Just as a shadow cannot detach from the body that casts it, money cannot detach from the consciousness that sustains it. If it appears absent, it is only because you have forgotten your own creative authority. Say within yourself, there is no distance between me and money. Money is part of my life. Money is part of my identity. Money flows to me because I am aligned with abundance. This is not affirmation, it is recognition. Now comes the deeper initiation, feeling. Words without feeling are empty. Thoughts without feeling are weak. Identity without feeling is lifeless. You can say, I am wealthy 1,000 times, but if your body vibrates with fear, the universe responds to the fear, not the words. Feeling is the secret. Feeling is the engine. Feeling is the creative signature. Feeling is the signal that tells the universe, this is who I am. Close your eyes again. Feel abundance, not as fantasy, but as a physical sensation. Imagine holding money. Feel the weight, the texture, the coolness of bills between your fingers. Hear the sound of coins dropping, the notification of a deposit, the laughter of a financial blessing unfolding. See your bank balance overflowing. Feel the ease of paying every bill with surplus left behind. Feel the quiet confidence of one who is always supported. This is not delusion, this is creation. Imagination is the womb of reality. What is conceived in feeling must eventually be born in form. Even if doubts arise, even if appearances contradict you, hold the feeling. The law never fails. What you assume with conviction must manifest. Notice the contrast within you. When you think of lack, your body contracts. When you feel abundance, your body expands. This expansion is the invisible confirmation that the invisible has already become real. People wait for the world to change before they allow themselves to feel wealthy. But the world does not give you permission to feel. Feeling gives the world permission to change. The order is reversed. You feel first, the world shifts second. If the reflection still shows scarcity, do not fight the mirror. Do not curse the reflection. Adjust your inner state. The mirror must obey. And now, hear this with all your heart. Feeling is the frequency that money cannot resist. Once you sustain the feeling of abundance long enough, reality has no choice but to align with it. But there is another barrier, one few dare to face. You cannot attract what you despise. Many want money, yet deep inside they resent it. They criticize wealth, they judge the wealthy. They associate money with corruption or greed. They feel guilty spending, ashamed receiving, angry paying. And then they wonder, why does money avoid me? Because how can something stay where it is treated like a threat? Money is neither angel nor demon. Money amplifies the one who holds it. Money is a magnifier, neutral, obedient, responsive. Treat it as a burden and it becomes heavy. Treat it as a monster and it becomes frightening. Treat it as a friend and it becomes loyal. Think of how you react when a bill arrives. Do you contract? Do you curse? Do you fear? That emotion sends a message. Money, I hate your demands, and money retreats. But what if you thanked your bills? What if you honored the flow? What if you celebrated the spending that keeps your life moving? What if you saw every transaction as proof that money is alive in your world? Money stays where it is respected. Money multiplies where it is honored. Now comes the greatest transformation of all, living as one who already has. Most people wait for signs before they embody abundance. They say, when I have, then I will feel. But this is the formula of perpetual delay. The world does not bring abundance so that you may feel abundant. You feel abundant, and then the world brings abundance. To live as one who already has is not reckless, it is not foolish, it is not pretending. It is assuming, it is shifting identity. It is stepping into the posture of the self who knows they are supported. How does the abundant version of you walk, talk, think, react, breathe, decide? That version of you exists right now in your imagination, and imagination is reality, waiting to be embodied. You are not here to beg. You are not here to chase. You are not here to fear. You are here to command. You are here to create. You are here to remember that the power that shapes worlds is the same power that shapes your bank account. So let this final truth settle deeply. Money manifestation is not about calling money. It is about calling yourself into alignment with the one who never lacked it. Money does not come because you beg. Money comes because you assume. Assume the identity. Feel the state. Respect the presence. Walk as the master. Speak as the creator. Rest in the knowing. Money will follow you. Money will obey you. Money will gather around you the way shadows gather around light. For abundance was never outside of you. It was never waiting for permission. It was never in the hands of others. It was always within you, waiting. Waiting for you to rise. Waiting for you to claim. Waiting for you to remember. And when you do, the world shifts. Reality bends. Doors open. Opportunities appear. Unexpected channels emerge. And you realize money was never the goal. Money was always the mirror. The mirror reflects the master, and you, awakening now, are that master. If something inside you ignited tonight, stay close. Your next revelation is already forming in the unseen. And now, something extraordinary begins to unfold inside you. Something subtle, yet impossible to ignore. It feels like a warmth rising from the center of your being, like a memory reawakening, like a truth you once knew but somehow forgot along the way. It is the awareness that you have crossed a threshold. You are no longer the one who fears life. You are the one life responds to. Feel this shift. It is not just a thought. It is not just an idea. It is a reorientation of your entire consciousness. The moment when you stop living as the character who suffers the story and become the author who directs it. This is where money manifestation becomes effortless. Because once you stop trying to attract money and instead begin to embody the version of you who already has it, you unlock a truth that very few ever experience. Money is not something you draw in. Money is something you radiate. You don't chase abundance. You broadcast the frequency of abundance, and whatever matches your broadcast must appear. This is the law, precise, unbroken, immutable. Now breathe, softly, slowly. Let the breath itself remind you, receiving is natural. You do not force the inhale, you open to it. And this is how money comes, not through struggle, but through openness. Not through tension, but through receptivity. Not through desperation, but through assumption. You are not trying to make money come to you. You are allowing it to reveal the path that was always aligned with your identity. And when you live from this place, something magical happens. You stop calculating. You stop doubting. You stop bargaining with reality. You stop negotiating with fear. Instead, you begin to trust the invisible currents of your imagination. Not because you are naive, but because you finally understand they are the only currents that create anything at all. The world is a slow echo. Imagination is the voice. The world is the shadow. Consciousness is the light. The world is the reflection. Identity is the original. And now, standing in this realization, you begin to witness a phenomenon that mystics have described for centuries. Reality bends. It responds. It rearranges itself quietly around your new state, not because you beg for change, but because you became change. Type this into your heart. Life does not happen to me. Life happens through me. Now you start seeing signs, not because the signs were absent before, but because your awareness was. Not because the universe suddenly started helping you, but because you finally stopped resisting. You find forgotten money. A payment arrives sooner than expected. Someone gives you something you needed without you asking. Opportunities appear in conversations that were supposed to be ordinary. Ideas drop into your mind with a clarity you've never felt before. Doors open without knocking. Paths clear without effort. People feel drawn to support you for reasons they can't explain. And in these moments, you smile. Not with surprise, but with recognition. Because deep inside, you already knew this was coming. You knew it the moment you changed. You knew it the moment you assumed your true identity. But hear this. The universe is not just responding to you. It is celebrating you. It is celebrating the moment you stopped shrinking, the moment you stopped dimming, the moment you stopped waiting for permission. It is celebrating the return of the one who commands reality rather than suffers it. You, the one who imagines, the one who feels, the one who assumes, the one who embodies, the one who creates. You, who now walks with the quiet authority of someone who knows they are supported. Someone who knows money is not chance, but consequence. Not luck, but law. Not accident, but alignment. But the journey does not end here. It deepens. Because once money aligns with you, something even greater awakens. A sense of purpose that money cannot buy, but money will gladly serve. You begin to feel a new energy rising. Not the energy of survival, but the energy of expansion. Not the urgency of getting by, but the inspiration of becoming. Your vision sharpens, your desires mature, your intuition amplifies, your creativity ignites, your presence strengthens. You are no longer asking, how can I get money? You are now asking, who am I becoming? What am I expressing? What am I creating? What am I here to awaken? And money, faithful servant that it is, begins to rearrange itself around these higher questions. Because money does not respond to need. Money responds to clarity. Money responds to identity. Money responds to purpose. Money responds to the highest expression of who you are. You start feeling guided. You start feeling carried. You start feeling connected to a flow larger than your fears, larger than your history, larger than any logic you were taught. And you realize something breathtaking. The more aligned you are with your true self, the more natural wealth becomes. What once felt like struggle now feels like rhythm. What once felt like effort now feels like expression. What once felt like pressure now feels like power. Because you are no longer trying to survive. You are remembering how to create. Money manifestation is not about calling money. It is about awakening the version of you who never lacked it. And as this realization settles in your bones, something extraordinary happens. You stop asking, will it work? You start saying, of course it works. You stop wondering, when will it come? You start saying, it's already unfolding. You stop fearing, what if it doesn't happen? You start trusting, nothing can stop what I've already assumed. This is mastery. This is sovereignty. This is remembrance. This is money manifestation at its highest level. And there is still more awakening to unfold. And now, as the truth settles into the deepest corners of your being, something magnificent begins to happen. It is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is not the explosion the world imagines when it thinks of miracles. No, it is much more subtle, much more intimate, much more divine. It is the sensation of finally coming home to yourself. For the first time in your life, you are not reaching outward, you are reaching inward, and what you find there is abundance itself. You begin to realize that every financial struggle of your past was never a punishment. It was a nudge, a call, an invitation to remember who you are. Imagine looking back at every moment you felt lack and seeing it now as a doorway. Imagine realizing that every closed opportunity was guiding you toward the version of yourself who creates opportunity. Imagine discovering that every delay was not denial, but preparation, shaping you for the identity that would never lose what you were destined to receive. This is the shift that money manifestation was always leading you toward. You no longer manifest money. You manifest yourself, the true self, the aligned self, the sovereign self, the version of you untouched by fear and immune to scarcity, the version of you who breathes abundance the way most people breathe air. Feel this now. Feel the expansion in your chest. Feel the quiet power in your spine. Feel the grounding in your breath. Feel the clarity settling into your mind. This is what alignment feels like. It is not excitement. Excitement fades. It is not motivation. Motivation fluctuates. It is not adrenaline. Adrenaline burns out. This is calm certainty. This is stable abundance. This is the identity that reality obeys. And the moment you embody this state, something extraordinary happens to your relationship with money. You stop chasing. You stop waiting. You stop pleading. You stop negotiating with fear. Instead, you begin to choose. You choose the feeling. You choose the identity. You choose the narrative. You choose the frequency. You choose the level you operate from. And reality, obedient, neutral, faithful reality, rearranges itself accordingly. Feel the magnitude of this. You are no longer playing the game of life as a participant. You are playing as the architect. You design the emotional blueprint. You choose the mental structure. You select the feeling tone. You align your inner world. And the outer world must replicate it. It must. It has no choice. This is the law whispered through ages. This is the teaching mystics guarded. This is the secret sages lived. This is the knowing Neville carried. This is the truth you are reclaiming. Money is not the goal. Money is the servant. Money is the echo. Money is the shadow. You, your awareness, your identity, your assumption are the source. Now life bends differently for you. You begin waking up with a new energy, not the heaviness of how will I get through today, but the lightness of what will I create today. Decisions feel easier, ideas come faster, solutions appear before the problems fully form, doors open before you knock, people show up at the right moment, synchronicities line up like stepping stones. You start living in a steady, almost surreal flow where what you need appears, not through force, but through resonance. And in that flow, a new question emerges, one that only awakened creators ask: what else am I capable of? Because once you manifest money through identity, you begin to wonder what other parts of your life were waiting for you to remember your power. Relationships, health, purpose, destiny, inner peace, joy, contribution, legacy? Yes, all of it. Because the law does not apply selectively, it applies universally. Money manifestation was never the end. It was the doorway, the initiation, the first awakening. You stepped through that doorway, and now you stand inside a larger truth. If you can command money, you can command reality. Not through force, but through coherence. Not through control, but through identity. Not through desperation, but through alignment. And as this realization blooms inside you like a rising dawn, you begin to feel an emotion far more powerful than excitement. You feel inevitability. The inevitability of success, the inevitability of prosperity, the inevitability of expansion, the inevitability of creative power, the inevitability of every desire finding its perfect path to you. Because once you align the inner world, the outer world becomes predictable, not in the details, but in the outcome. You no longer hope for good things, you expect them. You no longer fear missteps, you replace fear with knowing. You no longer wonder if you deserve abundance, you understand you are abundance. You become the version of yourself who naturally attracts, naturally receives, naturally multiplies. And then, in the quiet of your inner sanctuary, you realize the ultimate truth. Money was never coming to you. It was always coming through you, through your identity, through your assumptions, through your emotional home, through your chosen self. You are the portal, you are the source, you are the origin. And as you breathe into that truth, the world around you softens, the tension dissolves, the worry evaporates, the strain releases. You no longer stand in life waiting for miracles. You stand as the miracle. And the universe recognizes you again, not as someone begging for change, but as the creator who commands it. This is the point where life becomes thrilling in a new way, not chaotic, not frantic, but powerfully alive. You begin to wake each morning with the awareness, everything I assume today becomes tomorrow. Everything I feel today becomes form. Everything I embody today becomes destiny. Money flows, ideas flow, love flows, support flows, opportunities flow, clarity flows, momentum flows, life flows. And you move through each day with the calm, radiant confidence of one who remembers, nothing is separate, nothing is scarce, nothing is distant, nothing is denied. The Creator within you has awakened, and reality bows. And now, in this expanding silence within you, something ancient awakens. Not a thought, not a belief, not an idea, but a presence. A presence that has watched every moment of your life, a presence that remained untouched through every rise and fall, a presence that was never afraid, never lacking, never separate. It is the I Am, the eternal self, the observer behind every thought, the consciousness behind every desire, the field that existed before you ever spoke your first word, and the field that will remain long after every temporary identity dissolves. This is the true secret of money manifestation. Not that you attract wealth, but that wealth was always a shadow cast by your own infinite nature. You were never meant to chase the shadow, you were meant to awaken the light. Feel this now, not with the mind, but with the soul. Money is not outside you. Money is not above you. Money is not beyond you. Money is an expression of the I am. Abundance is an expression of the I am. Prosperity is an expression of the I am. Creation is an expression of the I am. Manifestation is an expression of the I am. Every desire is the I am wanting to know itself through you. Every dream is the I am expanding as you. Every possibility is the I am whispering its next expression. And when you realize this, something breathtaking happens. You stop identifying as the one who wants and awaken as the one who is. You stop identifying as the seeker and awaken as the source. You stop identifying as the one who manifests and awaken as manifestation itself. Listen closely. This is the moment people wait lifetimes to encounter. You are not manifesting money. You are manifesting yourself. Money is simply the first doorway, the most tangible, the most measurable, the most immediate. But once you awaken through that doorway, you see the truth behind all creation. You do not manifest by intention. You manifest by identity. You do not manifest by struggle. You manifest by assumption. You do not manifest by force. You manifest by being. Being is the highest form of creation. Being is the purest frequency. Being is the language reality cannot refuse. And the more you inhabit the version of yourself who lives in abundance, the more life reveals that abundance was always waiting for you to arrive. But this realization brings you somewhere even deeper. You begin to understand that abundance is not just financial. It is spiritual. It is emotional. It is relational. It is generational. It is universal. You realize abundance is the natural state of existence. Scarcity is the illusion. Fear is the distortion. Separation is the dream. The moment you awaken, you see that everything is connected, woven through a field of infinite supply. Every opportunity already exists. Every solution is already present. Every pathway is already formed. Every blessing is already aligned. Every desire is already answered in a parallel unseen reality, waiting for you to match its vibration. You are standing at the edge of a multiverse of possibilities, and the only question is, which version of yourself will you choose to be? Because the universe follows your choice. It always has. Not your wish, not your hope, not your longing, your choice. The choice of identity, the choice of assumption, the choice of feeling, the choice of being. And now you see that the true work was never to chase manifestations, but to choose the version of yourself through which they naturally appear. This is freedom. This is mastery. This is creation. This is divinity expressed in human form. You are not a character trapped in the story you inherited. You are the author writing the next chapter. You are not the echo of your past. You are the vibration of your future. You are not the victim of circumstance. You are the source of circumstance. And when you breathe from this truth, deeply, quietly, courageously, the entire fabric of reality shifts around you. You begin to see the world not as something happening to you, but as something happening through you. Not as something you must endure, but as something you can design. Not as a force you must obey, but as a canvas that obeys you. You realize that manifestation is not a technique, it is your nature. Money is not a miracle, it is your reflection. Wealth is not a privilege, it is your birthright. Abundance is not a reward, it is your identity remembered. And now, with the truth fully awakened in you, let this final transmission settle into your soul. Your desires are not random. Your dreams are not accidents. Your longings are not fantasies. They are instructions, coordinates, blueprints from your higher self. Every desire is the future calling you. Every vision is your destiny revealing itself. Every dream is a prophecy waiting for your embodiment. You are not chasing wealth. Wealth is chasing you. You are not asking for abundance. Abundance is asking to flow through you. You are not seeking alignment. Alignment is your natural state. And now, in this elevated awareness, this remembrance of the I am, you walk forward into your life no longer wondering if money will come. You walk as the one who money responds to. You walk as the one who identity shapes reality. You walk as the one who creates through being. You walk as the one who commands without speaking. You walk as the one who the universe recognizes as its own. You walk as the master, not because you forced change, but because you became change. The world bends, opportunities open, money flows, ideas ignite, people align, paths illuminate. Because abundance was never outside you, it was never withholding itself from you. It was only waiting for you to remember, you are the source, you are the creator, you are the abundance, you are the manifestation. And now that you know, everything follows.